Today, we're going to build this. Some friends of mine have 3 sons, and they all recently joined the U.S. Army, following in their mother's footsteps. Their youngest son, Johnny, just recently graduated boot camp, so this flag is going to be for him. So stay tuned and let's build this together. And let's get into it. I've got a great tool to share with you. It's the flag calculator on omnicalculator.com. It's totally free, and this is not a paid promotion. I just find it very helpful. When working on flag designs and you need to know the exact measurements for your flag projects, this website is a game changer. It instantly figures out the dimensions of your flags based off whatever size you want to make them, and gives you the stripe widths, union layout, and even more. This tool will save you so much time and hassle, and it even gives you the materials list and a lot of other great information. Here's the layout based off of 2 6-foot long by 12-inch wide boards. You could probably get this done with one 8-foot long board, but I find that the 8-foot long boards aren't as nice as the 6-foot long boards, and I can always do other projects with the waste off of this board. When selecting boards, just make sure they don't have too many large knots or imperfections, rotted areas, splits, etc. Just remember, a nice flag starts with straight wood. Now I'm marking all the boards to length. For this project, that means 37 inches and 22¼ inches for the stripes, 14.8 inches for the union, and 18 inches for the back support pieces. The joiner makes squaring the edge of these boards quick and easy. There's other ways to doing this without a joiner, but adding this tool to my shop sure sped things up. For this 37-inch wide flag, all of the stripes will be ripped to 1½ inches wide. The union design, a CNC router does the work quickly and accurately. This jig makes assembling the pieces of the flag quick and easy. You'll notice that where I marked the union is upside down, kind of backwards. That's because I assembled the flags facing down, and this reminds me to put the union in the correct spot. So when I glue it up and flip it over, it'll be assembled correctly. Now for the fun part. Using a propane torch, I give the pieces a light char to give them some character and that rustic look. Keep that torch moving and don't ever stop and overcook it. I find that a light char with a varied burn pattern looks great when finished. Hit the edges a little bit too, just in case a board rises up, you don't see a white edge. All right, so once I get done burning all the wood pieces, then I put them back in my jig, and I want to make sure that I have my stripes laid out correctly. As you'll notice, some of the stripes are burned darker than the others, and that's okay. But I like to have my white stripes, the lighter burns, and my red stripes, the darker burns. The red paint helps cover up any imperfections, maybe like this dark mark in here, and it just makes it look a little nicer. 3 long reds and 4 short reds. Once I mix and match my boards to know which ones I want to be my red stripes, I go ahead and pull them out and get them ready for staining. Water-based stains apply easily and they dry really quickly. For the union design, a CNC router does the work quickly and accurately. However, there's other ways to get the stars on without using a CNC. You can use a stencil and paint them on, use a Dremel to carve them out, cut out and glue on stars. There's just a lot more design options that can be made easily with a CNC. With just a light pressure on the clamps, I use a mallet to knock each piece into place, making sure everything is flat and flush and there's no pieces sticking up too far or sticking out too far. Then I can tighten the clamps all the way and then attach the support pieces. I'm using 1-inch brad nails here. Using a damp towel, I quickly wipe up the excess glue that it squeezed out before it dries. Make sure to get both sides. Running the flag through the table saw at this point will square up the flag and cut off any uneven stripes, making the edges perfect for finishing. It's not too hard transforming a standard flag into a challenge coin flag. I start by ripping 3 long and 3 short pieces to be used as rails. I'm using a thin strip push block with a notch cut out in it to safely push the thin strips through the blade. For the coin channel, a 1/8 inch by 1/4 inch dado is used. This is easily accomplished by adjusting the blade height to 1/4 inch high and taking just a 1 blade curve cut. Using thick CA glue and some activator, attaching the rails is a simple process. Finally, the edges are charred. I like to make the edges a little darker than the rest of the flag to give it contrast. Then a satin enamel is applied to protect it and really makes the colors pop. I apply the finish to both sides and that helps prevent warping. If you think I've earned a like, hit that button and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to be notified when I release new videos. I'll continue to improve and grow, and I want to bring you only the best content I can. Check out these other videos here.